our recent episodes, I don't know which one it was, you just start eating something. I don't know what you were saying, something really important, but you were clearly just eating at the same time.
Yeah, that's
and I think it was when we had like the Moams and the Millions here.
Oh, listen, you can't put Aubrey Strawberry in front of me and expect me not to just go wild.
No one puts Aubrey Strawberry in the corner. But you were just like going ham, but I was like, oh, you're saying some really important and insightful things and good criticisms. So you're just sitting there and you're like, yeah, and then there's and I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, that sounds like me.
Real bad.
Is it because we were trying to have like a moment of sincerity and then I was like, absolutely not.
You were like, fuck that. Oh, it's a Joe Ahern episode. Look at that.
La la.
Would you look at that?
Just wondering why those isn't
It's
much
15.
trivia. And then I was like, oh wait, it's because that wasn't trivia. That was... Never mind. I absolutely fucked up everything I was trying to say there.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, what else is new? Welcome to Doctor Who Rewind, an unofficial and unprofessional rewatch podcast where I, Tyrese, and my friend Katie...
Hi.
I need no more.
Oh, hello, gentle viewer.
Oh, that'll fucking do. Watch and discuss episodes of Doctor Who, starting with the revival in 2005. Once we complete that, we'll backtrack to the 60s and talk about classic Who. In between seasons, we'll talk about extended media, things like books, video games, Big Finish audio adventures as well. I say that, take that with a grain of fucking salt, because we're almost finished season 1, and we've recorded nothing like that.
Ha 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 ha.
However...
A behind-the-scenes secret.
We'll... or... Poor planning on behalf of the hosts.
Yep, that sounds more like it, knowing the hosts.
I mean, I only know one of the hosts.
Knowing the host?
I only know one of the hosts, and she's a terrible person to be around. We do have a semi-plan for the end of this season. As for Big Finish and stuff, I think that's just going to get pushed back.
That's going to happen when it happens, realistically.
We'll get to it at some point. I think the best thing to do is try and push the show as much as we can to everyone and try and get numbers to it. Not like an amazing place. I don't care about numbers really, but enough that we can, ask around for Big Finish recs. And then, and I don't think they'll be as long as these hour and a half-ish episodes, except for the long game, which is like an hour and 3 minutes, but that's what it deserves.
That's the long game.
It's the long game, the short episode is what it is. It's fucking terrible. Anyway, what do you think in general of Bad Wolf?
It's Bad Wolf, innit? Like, just very good.
Give me
very
more.
good. I really, really like this episode.
More words on
I very, very specifically remember this episode from, like, being younger.
I remember... I'm trying to think, because I'd have watched this on the box set during a binge after seeing Doomsday.
Yeah.
And so I was like...
This is your follow-up.
Well, this is a follow-up, but I'd never... And we still haven't, but we know it's coming, because it's in the next time part, so it's not a spoiler. I'd never seen a regeneration happen. So I was still like... It was
still an exciting thing.
Yeah, it was. I was like, oh, this man's going to not be here.
Yeah.
There'll
be another man here instead.
The one that I saw for an hour that one time.
He, like, turns up and you're like, this guy. I know this guy.
Anyways, should we get to the synopsis, the summary that you wrote that I can never get through?
Let's get into it.
It's a little bit longer this time. So this episode was written, of course, with Russell T Davies. It's his season.
Thank God that you got that, because I didn't.
He's closing it off. Directed by Joe Ahern, and this aired originally on the 11th of June 2005, which means we'll have still been 5 and 6 years old. We haven't gotten big. We haven't gotten big yet.
Still young?
Still small. And you know what? Even to this day, I'm still small, so it doesn't really matter much, does it? The Doctor wakes up, dazed and confused, in a house full of cameras, told by Linda Moss, Joe Joyner, that it's probably the effect of the transmat. He's the newest housemate on Big Brother, streaming live on channel 44,000. Meanwhile, Rose gets a similar welcome from Roderick, Patterson Joseph, as a member of the weakest link, and Jack finds himself on what not to wear. In the house, the Doctor tries to sonic his way out, remembering being in the TARDIS with Jack and Rose when the bright light of a transmat beam separated the three of them, leading him to suspect that these aren't just games. The Doctor tells a camera he's going to get out and find whoever is responsible. A man, Joe Stone Fewings, and woman, Nisha Nair, watch on from a control room, confused as to why the games seem to be running themselves lately. During the eviction, housemate Crosby, Abby Eniola, is disintegrated, and the Doctor is horrified that contestants would risk dying just to get on TV. Linda tells him that there's no choice, everyone on Earth is a potential candidate. Realising that this means Rose is also in the games, the Doctor destroys the camera in order to deliberately be selected for eviction. Jack, however, is having a great time in his game until the droids suggest a face-off, more literally than he would like. He pulls a very hidden gun and blows their heads off. As Rose is a few thousand years out of time, she finds herself unable to give any right answers, only being kept in the game by Roderick for an easy win. It isn't until he mentions Bad Wolf that Rose realises something isn't right. The Doctor cannot be evicted as he assumed. Someone wants him there. He finds an exit and asks the other housemates to come with them, but only Linda follows. Upon leaving the house, he recognises Satellite 5, only it isn't Satellite 5 anymore. It's run by the Bad Wolf Corporation. Back in the control room, the female programmer is denied access to Archive 6, prevented from entering by the controller, Martha Cope, a woman hooked up to all of the computers. She tells them the new players in the games are no one and tells them to return to work, ready for the upcoming solar flare. Jack makes himself a weapon and finds his way back to the Doctor. Meanwhile, the Doctor is informed that Satellite 5 shut down overnight, so the Bad Wolf Corp stepped in and took over, each fall producing a different game show. The Doctor realises he made this happen. By the time the Doctor, Linda and Jack get to Rose's floor, 407, she has been voted the weakest link. As she runs to the Doctor, she is eliminated from the game and disintegrated as she tries to run to meet him. The floor manager, Jenna Russell, calls security who take the intruders away, but they soon escape and head up to floor 500. Jack and the Doctor burst into the control room, the Doctor demanding to know who is responsible for Rose's death. The controller refuses to acknowledge him, and Jack makes his way into Archive 6, where the TARDIS is being held. During the solar flare, the controller speaks to the Doctor, as now her masters can't hear her. She can't tell him who they are, but they fear him. Jack returns, telling the Doctor Rose is still alive. There's a secondary transmat system inside the games. The controller gives the Doctor coordinates of the second transmat before being transmatted away and killed. The coordinates are home to a hidden Dalek fleet, responsible for installing the Jagrafess in Satellite 5 years ago. Jack and the Doctor are both surprised, thinking the Daleks had all been destroyed. Over an open communication, the Daleks order the Doctor not to intervene or they will kill Rose, who is currently prisoner on their ship. The Doctor says no. Instead, he's going to save Rose and wipe out the Daleks, even with no plan. The Doctor tells Rose he's on his way and the transmission cuts as the Dalek fleet gathers and begin chanting exterminate. This is the episode. This is very like formulaic. It seems to go like Doctor, Rose, Jack, Doctor, Rose, Jack, and it would just bounce between
you get a
the
little
three
skip from everyone
until we get back.
I have a little thing that I think would be fun.
I feel like I know where this is going because I think I was going to do this too, but go on.
Okay, we do this episode now. What game shows are they all in?
That's exactly what I was going to do. I think you've got The Chase.
For Rose.
Yeah,
that's what I have.
Love Island
for Jack.
I was going to say for the Doctor.
I was going to say for Jack because I couldn't figure out what to do for the Doctor. The best I could do was, have you seen The Circle?
No.
That was the best. It's like, so you get a bunch of people in these sort of like little separated off apartments, and there's like an AI interface that the Circle or whatever they interact with, and you can either go in as yourself or you can go in with the intention to catfish. Yeah, the whole thing is like, you know, the top two of the week have to decide like who is the person that they want out.
And who did you say that would be for?
Like that's the best that I can do in terms of this like Big Brother type show.
See, I'm thinking Love Island for the Doctor.
Yeah.
The Chase for Rose, and then maybe First Dates or something like that for Jack. Ooh. And like have a robot bartender, and he doesn't know who he's going to meet.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter who he's going to meet. He was going to want to shag him anyway.
That's true.
Because it's Jack, and that's just what he does.
God. Like, I think
I don't know if I have it written down, but I was going to begin the episode and be like, hey, what game shows do you think would be on at this time? Imagine how boring it'd be if it was fucking Tipping Point.
Could you imagine what like a Bradley Walsh robot would be like?
And then
in terms like in place of the android.
God. Imagine like the Ian Sterling like Scottish narrator from Love Island. Like imagine him, but as like, because they get the people from those shows.
Oh yeah,
right?
it's everyone. It's everyone who is the voice.
And then they basically make it sound like there's something stuck in their throat, and that's how they get the effect. Imagine it's just Ian Sterling, but he's got something stuck in his throat.
Yeah, shout out to Davina McCall, to Anne Robinson, and then Trini Woodall and Susanna Constantine. There you go. Yeah, I didn't credit them in the plot summary because like I kind of didn't think I needed to, but I guess there you go.
Have you seen the clip of what's weakest? I know you've just said her name. I'm terrible with
Anne
this.
Anne
Robinson. Have you seen the clip of her on Countdown?
Possibly.
Where she like this dude picks
a word. Doesn't she do Dictionary Corner there?
I think so.
Or like she did or something.
Something along those lines. Or she might have just hosted it. but it obviously wasn't the Castor's Countdown version. It was the actual version of Countdown. And some dude is having the time of his life, and she is just not allowing it. He's so happy to be on Countdown. Just this young dude. He's just really excited about the words and numbers. The countdown clock starts ticking. He starts dancing to it. Like, he's all in on this game. And Anne Robinson, she's just
having none of it.
Oh, she is fuming. She is like giving him the dirtiest looks imaginable. She just does not want him to be enjoying this game at all.
Oh, that's so good. Yeah, so
previously on the long game. And then we just get basically that is how the long game should be. It should be 60 seconds long.
when like
no Adam involved. It's there, it's done.
This episode, well, not even this episode, this little like previously on really just puts into perspective how useful Adam actually was.
He didn't need to be there.
Like, you look back on this season
2 seconds is enough.
And I'm like, what was the point of this plot?
For me, it was cool seeing. I think that might have been all of Simon Pegg's bits as well, you know.
Yeah, quite possibly.
Like, he wasn't in that episode much. When he was in it,
he was very good.
Yeah, he killed it. 100 years later, which is different from our 6 months later last week.
Oh yeah, we're doing a big time skip on this one.
6 months later, get used to these headings at the beginning of episodes because we're going to do a big jump next time.
Okay, so like right when the doctor like wakes up.
And Linda is like, what's your name? Imagine if he just said his real name by mistake.
Yeah, he's just like out of it.
Like
imagine if it was like John.
We don't know the doctor's real name, but imagine if he actually just said it out loud and he was like, shit.
Yep.
Oh, fuck. All it takes is like a tiny little beam of amnesia and he's like willing to spill all the secrets of the universe.
There is some of the art on the walls.
Okay.
Looks like the little Dalek panels.
Does it?
Yeah.
Let's have a look.
I'm going to show you.
Yes, Katie's just showed me this. I'm currently looking at Christopher Eccleston laid down with a subtitle that just says, oh my God. But there's...
I'm looking at the poster, the drawing behind it. It says,
clearly...
more vag.
They're clearly children's drawings. But if anyone wants to go back and just look at this, it's like a minute in, not even that. The doctor is on the floor after he collapses out of the lift, and there's 3 like square canvases, and that's Dalekanium.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is on the periodic table. DA, just da. What's up, da?
Yeah, I saw it and I was like, ha, I know where these things are from.
I didn't. I was too busy being like, why you fall over like that?
Yeah.
Then he does it again immediately.
It's like a flop as well. Like
this one's like a flop, and then the next one I'm not wholly convinced by. Just his second fall, I'm like, okay. I don't have any other like notes for this in it because we don't get much. We get his introduction to what's going on. He is in the Big Brother house, and he doesn't get much exposition here before cutting to Rose, right?
To Rose, yeah. Well, it's just establishing in it. Oh no, because they get to do the classic. Would the doctor please come at the diary room? And then they hit him with the whole "You are live on channel 44,000."
Please do not swear.
And I used to really enjoy Big Brother.
I'm just not a reality TV.
Oh, it was like a little bit of Big Brother nostalgia for me. This.
Yeah, so this is probably why I don't have too many notes because I'm just like get to it.
It was one of those shows that like I wasn't allowed to watch.
Yeah,
but I guess that made me just be like, oh my God, like I need to see Big Brother.
I mean, the one that I was kept away from is Geordie Shore. That's the one that my dad was like, just don't watch it.
Yeah.
He was, and not in a way that was like, you are not allowed to see some of the raunch thing that's on there. He was just like, it's just going to be brain rot. Like, there's just no point. You're going to gain nothing. It's not like an
intellectual...
That's so rude. How could you make an assumption?
I love reality TV. Don't even.
You're a big Kardashian fan.
Yeah, you were making fun of me.
How would you feel if the doctor went and picked up Kim K for a few journeys?
I would love that so much, but I actually would prefer to see Chloe in the TARDIS.
You would. I knew you were gonna say that. I knew it.
Yeah.
I was gonna say her, but then I was like, what if I say the wrong name?
Kardashian. I want to see Chloe in the TARDIS, and I want to see Kris Jenner as like a Jackie Tyler type character.
There's so many Kardashians, and they are all the same.
There is.
Have I offended you just now? Is that
there
what
is 4 Kardashians, as in like TV show Kardashians.
And they're all the same.
No, there's not. Sorry, there's 3.
Oh, well.
I was thinking of Kris, but she's a Jenner.
That's so many. I don't like Kardashians, Jenners. You know.
Well, that was going to be my entire point. Was
wives
there's Kardashians
and
then there's
Jenners.
I
don't care. I don't care. It's like shirts and skins in basketball.
Yeah.
Like solids and stripes. So for me, I'm just gonna get it out of the way. For Jack and the Doctor, we don't linger on these shows too long. Maybe the Doctor gets out pretty quickly.
Oh yeah.
When we are watching these things, you are probably loving this, and I don't hate it. I do think it's entertaining, but I also think just get on with it.
I really
just get on with it.
Really like it. And what it kind of a little bit, just the whole idea of the game station gives me gives me the vibe of is like arcade.
Yeah.
Yep. The doctor
Like
just went to Murder
arcade.
World.
Yeah. The
Arcade from the X-Men.
Oh, I don't do that. Look, Katie, I haven't started yet. Okay.
Not exclusive the X-Men. He just sets up these crazy like.
Oh, weren't they in the vote the other day?
No, it was Armor. It was in the vote.
Okay. I'm just stupid. But with Rose appearing in the light on the floor, because during the weakest link, for some reason there is one just beam of light.
Is there?
Yeah. So if let's just there's just like a spotlight around it, and it's almost foreshadowy because it's there later.
Well, like
that's where people run towards the light, and there's this thing of when you die you go towards light or whatever, that's fine. And you're watching it with subtitles, and I hate you. What's this fella's name? Like his character's name?
Roderick.
Fuck you, Roderick.
Roderick is a dick.
Fuck you. F you in your ears. Don't wear a C and J all over your B's. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Yeah. Fuck that guy. All the way.
So speaking of everyone's little introductions on these shows,
the androids is the best.
No, Jax is the best.
Yeah, no, Jax is the best.
Jax is absolutely the best because he wakes up in the what not to wear studio.
Where did you get that? Where did you get that denim? It was from a place called The Top Shop.
Yeah, there you go. There's his
good
man
line.
out of time. But yeah, so he's like, hold on, I was with the doctor, and they're like, we're giving you a brand new image, and he's like, whoa, what are you saying? Is there something wrong with the way that I look? And he's just straight into it. Yeah,
because the doctor gets put into his game, and he's like, this is wrong. Oh my god, what the hell is going on? Rose is a bit similar, where she's not.
Well, she doesn't take it seriously at first.
No, not at all. And she's also just sort of like, well, if I'm here, I'm here. The doctor will save me. I will just sort of, I'll damsel in distress for a little bit, I suppose. And Jack is immediately like, oh, this is right up my alley.
Yeah.
This is exactly
what I want. He's like, fashion show? Yeah, sign me up.
This is me. The good thing about this, because what is it? Is like a defabricator? What are they call it?
The defabricator.
Is that actually what they call it?
Yeah, that's what they call it.
Okay. And then he's like, what is it? And then it zaps him, and he's like, it does what it says on the tin.
The thing is that they've got these shows all the way the wrong way around here because Rose absolutely should be on What Not to Wear.
Oh, well, do you know what? Let's just go to it then. Fit check on Rose.
This episode's very basic.
It is.
But not in a bad way. In an old book gold kind of way,
it's very cash.
I like this look on Rose. I think this is another one of her iconic looks, but it's not that different from where she was at the beginning. It's just kind of more refined.
Yeah, I think the reason this is probably more iconic for her is because one, it's two-part, you see her in it for longer, and two, it is the last thing she wears with
That's true. Yeah.
This is, for me, I don't know if you do want to linger on this, one of the best social commentaries that this show has done since the revival, like hands down for me.
With a specific part, or just this whole game show bit in general?
The entire episode, really. I mean, there's a bit later that we can talk about more when we get to it, but even this whole game show of like what people will do for fame.
Oh yeah.
Of like you don't get it. One, you don't get a choice on whether or not you're famous is more true today, I think, than what this episode knew was going to happen.
Yeah.
Like there was no foresight here. But they have accidentally predicted, like, you can upload a dumb TikTok and expect 3 of your friends to see it and wake up to 4 million views.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's terrifying.
The thing as well that I sort of specifically find to be kind of amusing is, like, more of, I guess, a comment on just, like, sort of celebrity culture in general, or, like, sort of, at least how it seems more like British celebrities, in the way that people who feel like they're celebrities in Britain, but not really, like, other parts of like game show hosts and people who are on reality TV shows when like Crosby's about to be eliminated and the doctor's like, oh, she'll release a fitness video, she'll do this, that and the other, it's fine.
That's essentially like the Love Island celebrity, the Molly Mays and things like that happen, which is the only example I know because I don't actually pay attention to any of the cultural things that happen. All I know is that she was like, we all have the same 24 hours in a day, and the internet went, the fuck are you talking about, you privileged lady?
I'd like to see Molly May try and record an episode of Doctor Who Rewind and continue saying that.
If my brother has taught me anything, it's that she has just had a baby.
Oh, has she?
Apparently.
Okay, cool.
Maybe. He could have lied to me and I would still believe it because I just don't pay attention to the world going on around me.
Just like feeding you really harmless false information about celebrities because you just can't dispute it. And all like nothing is serious at all.
Guilty till proven innocent,
There you go. Having a baby.
aside from that, I think you see it a lot with comedians and panel shows, because that's a very British UK thing. I mean, I don't know how much they know about it, overseas in America or wherever the hell else you would travel to, but like, like Lee Mack. I mean, Bob Mortimer is literally from here.
Yeah,
like that kind of thing. But that's not as prevalent in other countries. But also the greed surrounding game shows.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Of taking someone completely unknown and then being like, you can win this amount of money, but it's like quite exploitative as well in its own little way of like putting you on TV.
Well,
or
especially
in game shows like The Chase. I imagine some people on there are picked because they are either lower class or they might not be as clever, and so they get to be a bit of a laughingstock for the chaser, who is just a pub quiz whiz, I guess.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, if you are a chaser on The Chase, or you're just a professional pub quizicist, professional quizicist, a theoretical quizicist. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think we're going with theoretical quizicist. I think you've got it right in one take.
Cool, nailed it. And then I'll get to the other bit that I think is correct later. Do you have any more on this bit?
Not on this bit specifically, but what I do have to say, just on on the game shows in general, is just that Linda, oh my god, she's another one of those immediately likable Russell T Davies characters.
I'm just gonna wait. I should Google a thing first. Give me just a moment. I couldn't find the information I was looking for.
No.
But I assume because she's on the game show that this is okay to say. Oh my god, Linda's so fucking cute.
She is, isn't she?
I'm just like, oh my god,
she is sweet.
You're so adorable. And that's
continue.
Okay. And that's are you recording me?
Maybe. I don't know. I feel like I need to do something fun.
Okay. But the thing with Linda is that she's really enthusiastic. The doctor's like, you're sweet. And she's like, oh, am I? And then she proceeds to just be like, well, I guess.
Absolutely adorable.
And then
sweet.
She's like, okay, I'm going to be that from now on. And she's always like really happy and always like, she's always looking for like the good things. She's like, yeah, hi, can I go with you? And when she asks that, when they leave the game, when she's like, can I come with you? And he's like, I don't see why not. And he gives her that cheeky smile. And she's like, oh my God, really? I'm like, yay, Linda. Do you know what really does annoy me about this show sometimes?
What?
Is when they pull someone in from the outside and they have like absolutely magnificent chemistry with the doctor.
Yes.
And then they just never bring them back.
Well, that was the thing that I actually saw when I was looking, looking through for stuff about this episode.
Yeah.
And it was one of the kind of myths, I guess.
Was that she was going to return at some
Yeah,
point?
it was that, well, when she was like being like, oh, I could come with you. It was sort of like maybe a tease that Rose, like she would replace Rose.
Okay.
And, Linda would be the new companion. And all it on this little, where this myth is busted, just says it might have been the original intent, but by the time the episode aired, it was already known that Eccleston was, regenning. So
when we do go back to their game, the Big Brother, and the doctor's like, someone wants me here. This episode, I think I think it's after the other housemate is buzzed.
Crosby.
Yeah. I think it's after they get disintegrated, quote unquote, when he does like a really good job performance-wise of balancing like the sinister with also the whimsy that is going on around him, like the absolute tantric comedic mess that he is in a game show. But he balances the someone wants me here.
Well,
the music change as well is really good. Murray Gold absolutely knocks it out of the park in this episode. Insanely so. He does a
what does he do? He does a little Linda with a Y, sweet little Linda. And I'm like, I don't know why, something about the way that he says that, I'm just kind of like, oh, like it's serious, like when he's doing his kind of like, it's not mocking her.
No.
But it is very mocking.
Yeah. But in like a friendly bantery way, I think. I don't think it's like a, oh, you're so naive.
Yeah.
I don't get that feeling from it, at least.
My notes are a little bit out of order.
So are mine, and I think it's because the game shows bounce between each other so quickly that they feel almost as if they are one.
You want to just take it game show section at a time?
Yeah, sure, let's do it. Because there's not much to say for the Big Brother one.
There's not. I do have a couple of things about it though.
Okay.
Which is that. So they say, when the doctor like breaks this camera.
Yeah.
And then it forces the elimination. The other guy who is in the house, his name I cannot remember, but he says that like, oh, he was only brought in as a plant to stir things up and all that sort of thing. I am pretty sure, because before that he says something about getting eliminated, and they say that he's not eligible because he's only just come in. As far as I'm aware, I don't think that was ever a rule in Big Brother. I think towards the end it was a free game, like when you were getting down to the finals.
I mean, fucking maybe.
I think
I would love to support you and have your back on this.
Oh,
but I have no fucking idea.
Oh.
Get the Big Brother rule book out, shall we?
Like, believe me when I say I know it does not matter, but like, I think that I am right on that. I'm pretty sure that, like, you know, towards the beginning when people were coming in, you were safe from elimination when you came in. But I think after that, like towards the end of the show, that rule kind of goes out the window, because otherwise then, you know, people would have immunity and the show would run and all this.
I think the other housemate is called Strood. Jamie Bradley?
Strood, yeah.
Is that him?
That's the
Yeah.
one. Also, there is one line in this Big Brother bit.
Okay. I think I know which one you're going to say.
Do you?
Yeah.
The one where Linda's like, she was evicted.
Evicted from life?
From life.
Yes.
Well, here's the thing. And this is like, I don't think this is embarrassing, but I'm really embarrassed of it. But when I was younger, because I had like, you know, just general pop culture knowledge about The Weakest Link and Big Brother and all this kind of thing.
Did you?
Yeah, I just like, you know, I just knew what they were from just
seeing them on TV.
Yeah, that kind of thing, hearing people talk about them. And obviously, this is the last episode of Doctor Who. There's Daleks. Oh my God, this is like...
big scary, right?
Yeah, this is like a big thing. And I remember hearing that line and I was like so excited that I paused the TV. Or I didn't pause the TV because it was way back when. But I, you know, like left the room, ran through to the other room where my parents were, and I was telling them about it. And I was like, oh my God. And then I was like, and then there's this bit where she goes, she was evicted from life. And I really, really remember being so excited about it. My mum was like, Katie, I don't care.
That's when you knew that you wanted to do a creative writing course. You heard
I
that
was like,
line.
whoa!
You heard that line and you were like...
But yeah, like my parents, who
alone now.
Neither of them particularly like have ever been into Doctor Who. In my 6-year-old brain, the line "she was evicted from life" was so good that they were going to drop everything that they were doing and be like, okay, no, we have to come and watch the show with you right now.
My note for that literally says "evicted from life," not like... I don't like it. I'm just not a huge fan of that line.
Do you not? It's very on the nose, but like, you know, there's something about it.
This episode has a lot of like hokey cheesiness to it because of the what it's parodying.
Oh yeah.
And so I think,
and also this is a very serious two-parter. Like, you know, you need that balance, I think.
So I think this is where you get like your jovial, happy sort of that sort of comedic part of it. But I think that is just a bit pushy for me. I'm like, okay, you're already riding a line with me here because you're already playing with reality TV shows that I'm not even a fan of. So my attention is stringent at best.
So the Jack stuff then.
The Jack stuff.
Because that's the... out of all three of these little bits, the Jack stuff is just the least least important, I guess. Like,
yeah,
it's just kind of...
he's there.
Yeah.
And then he gets out his bum gun and he's like,
he gets
pew,
his
pew.
bum gun out.
Did you notice him cupping a feel?
Yeah.
And like, with 2 hands, 1 per titty.
Yep.
And he's like,
and he goes,
"Rrr."
whoop.
Yeah. And I'm like, come on, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's a robot, but still.
I don't want to get into the politics of robosexuality, but...
No. Yeah, don't do that.
But my Alexa said that if you...
It's okay, she's not listening.
Is she not? Okay,
no.
Just double checking.
So there's an offhanded line to Jack that one of the
robots.
One of the bots says. And it says something about wearing black with colour.
Yes, and about how wearing... only wear white with black. If you wear colour, it makes the black look tacky or something like that, right?
Yeah, I think she says it makes the colour look cheap and the black look tacky, I think. Yes. And I don't believe that wasn't a thing that Jack already knew.
My note for that says, am I really taking fashion advice from 2 robots from 2004?
It says...
Yes, I am.
It says, never wear black with colour. It makes the colour look cheap and the black look boring. That's...
Yeah. Which, I mean... All right, I don't really care too much about what I wear.
It's black and white and cream and brown.
Ooh. A lot of ensembles just started making sense in my brain.
There you go.
Oh,
I think I learned that from Jane McDonald, you know.
I don't know who that is.
You don't know who Jane McDonald is?
Where?
Cruising with Jane McDonald.
Who?
She was a cruise singer. I think there was like a show like years ago, and she's like a singer on cruises and that. And then now she does like tours, and she has an other show called Cruising with Jane McDonald, and she just goes on cruises, and it's so entertaining.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but you know what? I was going to say whatever floats your boat, then realised there's a joke in there that I don't want to make.
Shout out Jane McDonald, huge fan of Doctor Who Rewind.
I'm not even a huge fan of Doctor Who Rewind, and I'm on the fucking thing.
I hate this show.
Right, we'll stop then. The thing that I have with this one, with Jack's more so than any, is everything is happenstance. You lose a game, you get the moida.
Yeah.
If you get voted out, you get the moida. Jax is just like, you're here.
Like,
you're gonna get murdered just for being here. Show up and die.
The thing is, I mean, I guess this is like the only TV that these people have to watch. So you kind of have to watch game shows. But, however, if you tune into The Weakest Link, if you tune into Big Brother, then what you are essentially getting is just a regular game show where the sort of, the lose condition is like a person dies. If you decide you are going to watch What Not to Wear on that day, you are going to see a person get butchered and torn apart. Yeah, that's just the end result.
The problem that I have with the game show thing is that it's easier to die in some games than others.
Yeah.
Like, imagine if you were just like, really just like, I just want to get off this train, just want to get off the train. I know what I'll do. I'll apply for an easy death game show, Wipeout.
They say to Jack when they're like, oh, face off. They talk about like what, cutting off his legs and attaching them to his chest or something.
Chest, yeah. They were going to give him a dog head. They would say, you look good with a dog head.
They were gonna go, you're king in the north, bud.
They're gonna be like, oh my god, we're gonna turn you into a persona. And Doctor would have been like, Jack, you look different, and Jack would have been like, yiff. That was the worst noise you've ever made at a joke that I've made.
Oh, because I didn't like that one.
Did you not?
No, I thought it was really funny.
Okay, cool.
It's funny. It's a funny joke. Do they transmat his stitched up body? Do they butcher it and then do they go, well, you're for the Daleks now, bud?
Zap, pop him in the trough.
Yeah, like what goes on this show?
It is one of the things that I like. My criticisms with this episode is there are certain things that I'm like, okay, but how far does this go?
Yeah.
When did this happen? When did that happen? And it's not wholly clear. Some things in this episode happen just because they need to, and a lot of these shows are that. I mean, Wipeout. Oh, well, it does what it says on the tin. Okay, so I imagine it's just the same as what Wipeout or, Ninja Warrior, those shows. But it's like saw traps instead, I guess. Or saw-made obstacles.
Yeah.
That kind of shit.
Or is it just like you do the regular course, and then if you don't do the regular course, then you
can't
get transmatted out.
You can't do that 6-meter wall run jump at the end of the Ninja Warrior thing and press the button, you get transmatted.
I don't think that would be the one to stop me personally. Like,
do you not?
No, I think I'd be out way before then.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
I think I would make it to the audition.
I'd get into the studio.
I would walk into the room and they would go, no. And I'd go, what do you mean? And then I'd take my inhaler.
And you go,
yeah. And they go, no.
Say no more.
The gun was up his arse.
Yeah.
And even the robots are like, where are you hiding that? And he's like, you don't want to know. And I'm like, look, they've defabricated you. They must know.
Yeah.
If they've got any idea of anatomy. And I'm sure they do. They are surgery robots.
Yeah.
But again, with the like commentary stuff about like cosmetic surgery and that, which we've had a bit of in this season already with Cassandra. Yeah. This is also a really good way of doing it. That's not going, well, you are not good enough the way you are, and so we're going to change. Like, it doesn't say it. It just goes, this is what they do. Jack shows up, and the first thing they do is be like, ugh.
Yeah.
Change it all.
When, like, Jack is a very good-looking man. Like, he's a very classically handsome man.
You got that jawline.
Yeah.
You cut a robot's head off with that jawline, didn't you? Put a gun up your bum. Didn't you do the bum gun? You could.
Yeah, they've got weapons in them. Pull them out. Go full, go all Evil Dead on it.
This tiny little gun blows the heads off them. Beheads them both.
It's got to be a future gun.
It's got to be a future gun.
Pulls a banana out and he's like,
oh God, no.
Doctor.
That's not what I left in there.
So Rose on the Weakest Link.
This is, I think, please correct me if I'm wrong, we get our first mention of Torchwood here.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, right.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, maybe I've missed it, but I think that's the first like in-world mention of Torchwood.
I think we've skipped over it, but we get another first as well in this app. No, we haven't skipped over it yet. This is episode... No, you know what? We'll come to it later.
Yep.
We'll come to it later. But this is the first mention of Torchwood.
This is also this is the first game that shows you how sinister the games are in the whole turning people into a little pile of dust.
Yes. And the thing is as well, like, Rose turning up and having, like, a giggle to herself and being like, ha ha ha, like, this is so funny.
Oh,
if you actually knew...
She doesn't have a little giggle to herself. She pisses on the spot. She is crazy Joker Harley Quinn level laughing, just like, ha 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 ha.
If you were,
I don't do it well, but that's what she's doing.
If you were watching at home, if you were in the studio with her, you would be looking at her like, oh my God, this girl's insane.
It's such a convincingly, like, real stomach laugh.
Yeah.
That's when you are watching a comedian live in performance and the atmosphere gets to you. That's that kind of laugh is what she is doing, and it's insanely good acting.
The thing about it, though, just like imagine that is just insanely surreal about it, is that you're Rose and you've been on all of these adventures in time and space, and you're like history and planets. Yeah, and you're like, oh, I know this. This is the weakest link. I know what this is.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
And then immediately you're like, oh, no.
Pew! Oh, shit. Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
I like her realization of the android. The android.
He's
the
like, oh my God.
Android. And then it goes, duh, duh, she's our thumbnail this week, by the way. She's the star of our show. She is. The android.
Broth, who's one of the competitors.
Broth?
Here, yeah, you know, the guy who's like, I can't do this anymore. And then he runs across the studio.
He's called Broth.
His name's Broth, yeah.
Oh, Broth.
Yeah, with F's.
I was like, this man's a stock.
The soup.
Soupy stocky.
Yeah, he runs away and then he gets like shot down by the android mid-run. But when he's running, you can clearly see that the on-air sign is lit up, even though the floor manager woman's like, well, cool, we'll go to ads.
Yeah. That sign doesn't go off. I don't think that it goes off at any point.
I don't think it does.
Shout out for all these robots, by the way, to Paul Casey and Alan Rusko, who again,
yes,
just get to be in a million episodes of this show. I imagine just sweating away in suits all day long.
Yeah,
and just taking one for the team for everyone else.
Being absolute champs.
And they've been doing this all season too. They've been season wide. Every block of filming, they have been there doing something,
and we love them for it.
I feel like that's almost not Nicholas Briggs less so, but I would lump him in with these guys of like behind the scenes workers who are still really prevalent and on screen.
Yeah, even if you
don't realise are on screen a lot of the time, except for the episode that Alan Rusko is actually
in,
as an actor,
he is
doing legitimate performing, which is cool to see him in this show and knowing these people for so long, because it's also in a Russell episode that happens.
Yes, it is.
That like he is with these people and he's on set and he puts in the work and then he ends up like basically helming an episode, which is cool. Roderick.
Yeah,
this just a fucking wanker, man.
Yeah, he's
like what? No nice words to say. He's the greedy. He's the Ebenezer Scrooge type, but he doesn't go through the change. I don't mean menopause. I know that's what you were thinking. Your brain went. I saw your like entire facial expression shifted. It went from to let's talk about Roderick to haha menopause accident.
Hee joke.
Yeah. He doesn't go through like any sort of character arc. Even in the next episode.
Oh yeah, he is just notoriously a dick.
He is just an asshole.
Yep, and I'm fine with that.
Oh yeah, I like a good. He's a dickhead that is likable in a way. You're like, fuck this guy.
The thing is, he's a dickhead.
But you're meant to think he's a dickhead, so it's fine.
But even in the way that I don't like, although he is a dickhead, he doesn't actually do anything that's like unreasonable. He just does things that are like, oh, don't do that. Don't be a dick.
Well, he does, set Rose up and he's like, I want you killed. Like his that's not his exact words, but he basically is like, I want you to be the one that I face at the end.
Yeah,
so that I can
which
live.
is just strategic playing of a game, which people do. So if you're just so used to this culture in which going on a game show means that you fucking die, I suppose you just desensitize yourself to it after a little bit.
Not my Roderick.
If no one
That's all I'm gonna say. It's not my Roderick.
If no one has a choice, if you all just have to play these games sooner or later, then
not my Roderick.
No. Oh yeah, all that aside, he's still a dick. This is also where we get like the whole Bad Wolf, the pieces of the puzzle, the episode title, it comes together.
Because the Doctor gets a Bad Wolf reveal of like the lights come on and he's like, oh, Bad Wolf, that's the thing.
He does.
But then Rose gets a Bad Wolf reveal and Jack is there.
Yep. It just means nothing to him.
I think there might have been a serious, like, Jack needs to be here for the finale, but we don't know too much of what to do with him.
The thing is, do you think that, like, obviously, as we know, they go on other adventures. Do you think that at any point on these other adventures, the words Bad Wolf came up again, and Rose and the Doctor were like, Bad Wolf, and Jack was like, again?
Someone pay attention.
Seriously?
I would, just one of them starts keeping a notebook.
It's like,
yeah. Bad Wolf, Naughty Dog. This is a Crash Bandicoot game, and I'm like, oh shit, The Last of Us. I'm like, oh fuck, Naughty Dog. It's the same thing. It's everywhere.
What does get me about the, speaking of like a good little piece of acting,
Yes.
is I think it's Fitch, the woman who was the first one from
Oh,
the Weakest
yeah.
Link.
Her
And
crying.
She's crying, yeah.
There is a performance in here that I think goes really unnoticed, and if you didn't notice it, we can go back and watch it, but I feel like it's something that I've just noticed for the first time in however many years, and you will have noticed this, and you'll be like, yeah, I knew that already, and I'm going to be like, well, fucking let me have this one, okay?
Okay.
We'll get to that when it happens, though. So, we may as well sort of jump forward to when Jack and the Doctor at least are out of the game.
Yeah, so they reunite.
Yeah, and we've got those, I don't know their names, those two workers of
So the
game
woman,
station,
the woman in this
formerly
episode,
Satellite 5.
she does not have a name in this episode.
Okay.
However, it is Elaine the Pain, so I will be referring to her as Elaine the Pain.
Elaine the Pain?
Yeah, from Tracy Beaker.
I didn't watch Tracy Beaker.
Oh, okay.
The only CBBC stuff I watched was like Trapped and Sarah Jane and
Unbelievable.
was there a
Temple Run? No, that's the game. Jungle Run.
Jungle Run was CITV. We went through this last time.
Yes, we did.
I believe it was last week that we went through this.
Amazing.
Last week in terms of episodes, not in terms of recording. We're bad at this.
What else was on there?
Elaine the Pain.
Elaine the Pain, yeah.
Right.
That's her, that's the actress. And
I couldn't give a shit about these two, by the way.
The guy, he says at the end of the episode, his name is Davich Pavel.
Yes, no, he does, yeah. No, okay, I remember that. I don't give a shit about either of those two.
No, I don't.
Which is why when we cut to them earlier in the episode and they're walking around and doing their sneaky, we're going to go up to floor 500, I'm like, I don't care.
As much as we have like a lot of likable side characters in this show, these two are a disappointment.
They're not unlikable.
No, they're not
nothing.
unlikable. They're just kind of boring.
Yeah, they're just sort of nothing people.
Well, they don't do anything, at least in this episode.
And I mean, they don't do too much in the next one. They do a thing.
Yeah.
I suppose they are in one of my favorite moments of this episode. But we'll talk about that when it rolls around, which I don't think is going to be too long anyway. They go to the kill floor, I guess is what I'm just calling it. We're back again at this, and I still think it is the same set, by the way.
It's
just been transformed like 4 times by now.
You could have fucking Russell T Davies himself tell me that this is not the same set, and I will refuse to believe that.
Lying fucking bastard man.
I will wake up on tomorrow morning with a DM from Russell T Davies, and he's like, delete that shit right now.
What does that stand for, Russell RTD? Maybe it's Russell the Deceiver. You're lying to my face with your scripting boy.
Russell the Deceiver.
Russell when he pulls a plot twist out of his arse, and I'm like, no! Russell the Deceiver strikes again! And then he spits for some reason. When they are back on the kill floor, this is my other sort of social commentary that I like, is when the world is just a smoggy, ash-ridden, horrible
Oh my god,
place.
it looks awful.
And she's like, oh, once every whatever, we can go outside, it's breathable and this.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is horrible. By the way, I don't pay attention to a lot of the stuff she does. Not of it, it's just my own ignorance of the internet and things in general. But if anyone out there is like, oh, fuck this Greta Thunberg, this is exactly what she's trying to prevent, so don't be a dickhead about it, okay?
Yeah, exactly.
You fucking crunchy little fucker.
Also, you know what happens to the last person who tried to fuck with Greta Thunberg?
I mean, you could ask him, but I mean, you might have to wait in a large queue and, have your pockets checked on the way in.
Yeah, hand over all sharp objects before you get in there.
Let us know what he looks like from the other side of that fucking glass, though, because that sounds like a rich image to me. Fuck that man. But the part of this where they're saying, all the bums in seats basically is all that matters. Once the news went down, it was getting people to watch TV. And he was like, you watch this? And she's like, all day, every day. It's all we've got to do is to just watch things. And I thought to myself, imagine a world where people do nothing all day but sit and binge watch things on every screen they have. Such a world could never exist. And then I freaked the fuck out. And then I just did a big panic to myself, and I was like, oh god, it's me. Hi, I'm the problem, it's me. And then I'm deleting all of the apps from my phone. I'm throwing my phone out the window. I'm hitting my TV with a hammer. I'm like, YouTube Shorts will not claim me this day.
It's the Great Atlantic Smog Storm.
Everywhere.
That they were saying that they get allowed.
Oh yeah, it's been going on 20 to 30 years or something.
It's been going 20 years. We get news flashes telling us when it's safe to breathe outside.
Fucking imagine. There's a part here where they're talking about other TV shows that they watch.
Yeah.
One's with bears. It's
Bear
called
with me.
Bear with me. And the doctor's like, haha, and then goes to serious immediately. Did you notice this?
Oh yeah, he's like, I watch TV sometimes.
But like his clip back to seriousness
Oh, it's so good.
is like it's like a switch, and not the Nintendo kind.
No, because he does that whole thing where he's like, I was here 100 years ago, and
she's like, that's when it happened,
and he's like,
what?
oh. The thing is as well, like she really rubs the salt in the wound there when she's talking about it, and she goes, 100 years of hell.
Yeah, and he I like that when there's a part where she goes, oh, it's been like this for 100 years. And he's like, oh, that's roughly when I was here. And she was like, you're 100 years old. You look well for it.
Yeah,
and he goes, I moisturize. I'm like, is that a little callback to Cassandra, or is it just
he got that skincare routine?
Yeah, and I want it because I'm having breakouts. I'm not having breakouts, by the way.
I'm having breakdowns. Hey, the controller is another little character in here.
Oh yeah, she's the wire lady, right?
Yeah. Not to be confused with the wire. Lady.
Yeah, I noticed immediately. I was like, I'm an idiot. Whoops, my bad.
Yeah. So she's running the joint.
She really is, and she's absolutely unaware. Do you know what sentence I think is really harrowing?
What?
Installed when she was 5.
Yeah.
That's got such
every
a
single
yucky,
part of it.
Toxic energy about it. I'm like, explode.
There's
makes me cringe.
There's a part where like, you know, everything's going wrong and she keeps telling people to get back to work. She's like, oh, keep working, and I'm like,
yes.
Okay, so they're obviously all on minimum wage then.
There's a little bit that we've touched on it, but I just want to bring us back for a second to it because I just think it's a pretty nice small detail. When Rose is in The Weakest Link to talk about it, Bad Wolf R, you get the intro vortex thing over the
her little, yeah,
and then a little flashback of like, here's the times that we've heard Bad Wolf, just in case you weren't noticing it.
I like that. That's a bit chilling as well. That's like a sort of freaky little thing because that's the point as well. Because obviously the doctor pretty much immediately comes to the realization that like, oh no, someone wanted me here. This is bad. But this is the point where Rose is like, oh,
yeah. And
I get it now.
I think my favourite thing about this is like it does do the Boomtown one where he's standing there and he's like, it's following us wherever we go. But it also cuts to like Gwen back in the Charles Dickens and stuff. And I'm just like, oh yeah, we've had a nice little journey.
Yeah, Van Statten's helicopter.
Bad Wolf 1, yeah.
Bad Wolf TV.
Oh yeah, Versa Bo shows up. There's when he's on about how he brought down Satellite 5 back in day, he says something about like that. She's like, oh, they'll come for you for all this, and he's like, yeah, but watch them try or whatever, something to that effect. Then she's like, why would they even have a problem with you anyway? And he's like, I haven't paid my bill, and she's like, oh, they'll kill you. And I'm like, is this a TV license joke?
You get executed for that.
I'm like, is this a TV license joke? Because that's so funny.
I think
to me.
He literally says, I haven't paid my license. I think that's like, give me a second.
Yeah, I don't think he says TV license, but he just says I haven't paid my license, which is the funniest thing in the world to me.
No, he does.
He says TV license.
Like she goes through all of the shows and he says, and you watch this stuff, and she says, everyone does. How come you don't? And he says, never paid for my license. Like they just straight up say it.
Straight up the BBC, popping a little. We know what you're doing.
I see you not paying your TV license. This is the start of the Jack flirts with everyone thing, right? Like the formal start of the whole like Captain Jack Harkness, and then the doctor's like, stop flirting. I
mean, there is that bit in the Doctor Dances.
There's the bit in the Doctor Dances
at the end where he's like, I'll take care of this, and he goes over and tries to do a flirt, and he's like,
but like this is the first time when like Jack introduces himself to a person, and the Doctor's like, hey, stop flirting, because that's like another sort of running gag with him.
Yeah. When and she's okay with it. Linda's like, I'm not complaining.
Oh yeah, she is into it.
Which is, I mean, it's a similar thing to what Rose said when she's like, I wasn't saying you had to stop flirting or whatever. And then there's me, I exist, and I've no idea how to even. Is there a rule book? Flirting for dummies.
According
big yellow
to Jack,
book.
He says, "Hey there." She says, "Hello." He says, "Captain Jack Harkness." She says, "Linda Moss." He says, "Nice to meet you, Linda Moss."
Yeah, and the doctor's like, "Stop flirting." He's like, "I'm just saying hello," and he's like, "To you, that's flirting." Like that's it. They go. All three of them go to floor 500, right?
They go to floor. I believe it's like 406, 407 with the Weakest Link.
Oh yeah, for Rose first.
Yeah. So they go there. Also, I really like all the fun little kind of like nonsense space trivia when they're doing like the sudden death elimination round of like the Weakest Link.
Oh yeah, and some of it is, and she knew the face of Bo. She's like,
yeah. There's one line delivery that she has that I think is so funny.
York. Is it that one?
No.
Okay.
She says, Rose, in fashion, Stella Pock Band is famous for what? And Rose,
Shoes.
she's like, shoes.
Wrong. Hats.
Yep. But like just the way that she's like, shoes is so funny.
They really do. It's nice that they try and get to the weakest link. And there's a with the world building in this, at least, it's really clear that people know some games are more dangerous than others, because when they find out what floor she's on,
yeah, Linda's like, oh my god,
Linda's like, she's on the weakest link. You need the android. We gotta go.
Yeah,
and they go up, and then they miss Rose by like a second.
Well, even if she hadn't been disintegrated by the android, she would have been absolutely fucking roasted by her. You're unemployed, but you can still buy peroxide.
They turn her into a self-raising flour. She's gonna be a little dumpling by the end of this, boys. I've forgotten what the thing's called that you use to make dumplings, but it's fine. There is. So how do you find this Rose fake out death scene? I will give it this. As someone who is widely against fake out deaths in a lot of my media.
Yes.
And this does do a good job of subverting if you don't see him die, if you don't see him die on screen, they're not dead. You see her die on screen, quote unquote. So there is still a chance that she could be dead.
Yeah.
I am glad that since this is a fake out death, if it wasn't a fake out death, cool, she's dead, whatever.
Yeah.
Because it is a fake out death, I'm glad they don't drag this on for the week break between it.
Oh my god, yeah.
Then I would be like, this is fucking annoying.
Yeah, I like that.
It's quick to go, hey.
Yeah. Don't worry about it.
It's all right.
Well, I think the thing is as well,
she's just with the Daleks. She'll be fine.
I think the idea of that as well is just like too distracting of a note to end on.
Yeah.
Like if you kill Rose, and the thing is, if you kill Rose in a very unceremonious way, because I'm absolutely fine with characters dying in a way that's just like, okay, you are dead now.
Yep.
Because I'm like, yeah, sometimes people just die.
That's how death
and that's
happens.
that's fine. But
you ever see someone get shot in the head, they just fall.
Yep.
Not that I've seen that, but I've seen TV shows that because it's one of the main focuses in Barry is that the deaths aren't like, there's no flailing when someone gets shot, they drop. That's how it works, because in real life, if you do get shot in the head,
you drop.
No more power to brain. You just flop to the ground.
You go bye.
You cha-cha slide and that's it.
You cha-cha real smooth.
Take the shot! Sorry.
I was just trying to do the cha-cha slide, and then you just come in with all this aggression.
Let me take the shot!
Yeah, so we miss Rose by a second. Christopher Eccleston in this scene.
Oh my god.
Everything about this is so good.
The tunnel vision. So this is the performance that I didn't notice before. Jack is fuming.
Yeah.
Oh, and you've got to look for it, because there's the tunnel vision. The audio starts to go muffled because the Doctor is clearly in a bad place.
Tyrese, this is a great opportunity to watch the show with subtitles, because then you can see clearly.
I can see anywhere.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. The rain's gone.
Okay.
So after this, they go to Floor 500. No, they get imprisoned.
They get arrested.
There's like a prison scene, and I was like, I've forgotten about this scene.
Yeah, the Doctor gets mugshots taken.
Yeah. But they go to prison, and I'm watching it today, and I'm thinking like, oh, I didn't remember this. This is cool.
Yeah.
And then 30 seconds later, they're out of prison, and I was like, this is probably why I didn't remember it. They don't stay there very long at all.
It's very funny to me that like in the Weakest Link part, and also now when they are in prison, like obviously Jack and the Doctor kind of have these like little plans. These are like we know each other sort of thing. Linda just stands there with her hands up, staring out the way, like just a couple of feet back at any point, which I think is funny.
It's good companion behavior though, because it's like, I'm still learning. So
yeah, I don't know what to do.
But I love that they do the mug shots, they do the whole, the marching, they almost sort of get read their rights in a way. The door doesn't even shut before they're out.
Yeah.
They go to close the door and they break out. The Doctor's like, let's do it. And they all break out. And I'm watching it and I was like, this is probably why I did not remember this scene. Because by and large, if you take this out, nothing really changes.
You can very much like sort of like look away from it and miss this as well.
Yeah.
The Doctor kind of knocks a guy out a little bit here as well.
He does a little bit.
Yeah, like some guys running at him and he like does the whole like, I'm gonna into the wall sort of thing.
He's learned from the best.
He has.
He's learned from the best.
Jack does this like whole I'm gonna
that runs gymnastics.
He's like, this is what they call.
Oh, she basically gets her sats in the weakest link when it's like, what is 258 minus? Well, it's like 248 minus 148, and she's like, 100. And I was like, you thought about that? And
go Rose. She's so proud of herself as well when
yeah.
she gets it. For all of us like not very good at maths girlies out there, I really respect that. Thank you, Rose, for that representation, for the dumb bitch representation that I always needed.
Dumb bitch representation. The dumb bitch that you also claim to be a part of that community.
Yeah. Listen, I've never claimed that I'm not a dumb bitch.
Some people are like, I'm in the D&D community. I mean, like, you're going to start a dumb bitch society at uni. We're going to have dumb bitch meetups so we can talk about our dumb bitch shit.
Guess what, baby? You're the first member.
Me?
Yeah.
I'm not a dumb bitch. Wait, am I a dumb bitch?
I'm not a dumb bitch.
I'm not a dumb bitch.
State of mind, man. State of mind.
That video of Pedro Pascal being like, Daddy is a state of mind. You're like, dumb bitch is a state of mind.
mind.
And trust me, if you don't think you're a dumb enough bitch, we can inflict that with alcohol.
Oh yeah.
You can manufacture a dumb bitch.
Have one conversation with me at the pub, and then you'll feel it starting.
You're like sitting and drinking. It's like, oh, what are you drinking? You celebrating? No, I'm making a dumb bitch. What do you mean? Give it an hour.
Yeah, you'll see. You'll see.
And then Linger by the Cranberries comes on. There's a cum joke. I'm sorry, I don't know how else to bring this up. I think there's I don't know when it is.
I hope this is not a cum joke at all.
I really hope it is, and I'm just dirty-minded as fuck.
Oh my god, what are you thinking?
Right, the notes before this say floor 500 is changed, still no gold.
No, still no gold.
And then I have a question underneath that says, did Jack just make a cum joke? This is written in my notes. Second line, look at that. Did Jack just make a cum joke? So, I found the cum. So when he's blown their heads off those two robot android things, he leaves and he says, thank you, ladies. The pleasure was all mine, which is all that matters, I suppose. Or something along those lines. That's not verbatim. But that's a cum joke, right? That's like the only the dude finishing is what matters.
Yeah, that's that.
Which, by the way, if you're a guy and you think like that, there's probably a reason that you watch Doctor Who. I hope that really fucking annoyed some people, you know.
Yeah, I really
hope it.
Yep.
I like saying things that mean absolutely nothing and people just get fucking riled up. That's like my favourite thing in the world. I know it shouldn't be, but in this day and age when everyone gets pissed off by anything, I'm like, we'll say things just
people off.
Yeah. Because I'm a dumb bitch now. I'm in the mindset, you know.
See, there you go. State of mind.
Yeah, it's a state of mind.
They go to the floor. They go to the top floor. And the controller is talking to the doctor. Ooh, and here's another thing, actually, by the way.
Enlighten me.
You know when they do those cuts, normally when the controller is there, to like the sort of screen, there's like stuff scrolling across like a screen.
Yeah.
Those symbols, I don't know if they are exactly the same, but they are very, very similar to like what's on the little Dalek like number nameplate thing, like under the
the
eye
the
thing.
little square. With,
Yeah, it
like,
looks
the
like a
line
key
and the
almost.
circles. Yeah.
It's very Dalek-y. So there you go. There's another part of this because like I can't tell if the Daleks in this episode are supposed to be like a secret.
That's one of the things with this is where I'm like, are you trying to keep this to be a reveal?
I cannot remember if they were in the Next Time trailer.
They were.
Okay, so I'm like, not really then.
Because it's one of the things that I got annoyed at about Boomtown was they could have just showed the Dalek fleet without showing the Daleks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I remember actually.
And that would have been fine because we haven't seen Dalek ships yet.
Because up until this point, you wouldn't realise, I suppose, it was Daleks without those kind of little hints until you get to the point where Rose is transmitted to the ship.
Yeah.
And you see like sort of inside the Dalek eye stalk, like the weird
you get
blue
the POV,
sort of
the blue fish-eyed.
And it backs her into a wall and she goes to move and it pulls up the plunger and she says something and I think she says like, I saw you die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you also see a reflection of it.
Oh yeah,
as it pulls up. But this is the first time we've heard what is it? I've got a name for it here it's not the real name. I just think
or like the ambient Dalek noise.
The you know the do 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 do
yeah
do, like that kind of weird hum that it has, the weird beat. I think it's the first time we've heard that, and so that even hearing that is still not an inclination as to like
Dalek,
whether it is Dalek or not. Like the first time we hear the hum, it's obviously we've heard the wheels, the they make, like the Henry Hoover ass noise that they've got. Nunu from the fucking Teletubbies. Imagine if Daleks made that sound when they move.
No, thank you.
Okay, never mind then.
The Daleks go like time for Tubby Custard.
Oh, fuck off.
And there's your cum joke.
I don't want it.
Yeah, the controller says something to the Doctor because she can only say numbers.
Yes.
Until the solar flare.
Mm-hmm.
And then she says that like her masters can't hear her. She can speak freely, all this, that, and the other. And she says that she is the one who, you know, fucked the transmat and brought them here.
Mm-hmm.
Because she knew that the Daleks don't like the Doctor. But she says to him at one point, she says, they monitor transmissions, but they don't watch the programs. I could hide you inside the games. Just imagine Daleks kicking back to chill out after like a long night of being Daleks. And then they turn on the TV and they're like, the oncoming storm?
so, Dalek Khan, what are you up to? 8 a.m. And the Doctor is fucking livid. And then...
Oh my God. The Doctor is in the diary room.
and the Dalek's like, oh, fuck, nothing, shit.
They've gotten to that like late stage of Big Brother where everyone's just kind of like in pajamas and stuff.
They've stopped
just
doing makeup,
chilling.
they're just ratty. And
the Doctor's just sat in the smoking area outside, just talking shit.
Just doing that weird... Do you know that when people, and you'll know this, people who smoke do the talking on the in-breath and like, and then I was outside, right? and then they continue. And it's like, oh, you could have just waited, you know? But no.
Yeah, no, you got to get that point out right now.
You got to be like, yeah, I was outside the other day. Takes like a pull of the cigarette. It's like, and when I was out there, what happened was... And you know the exact conversations I'm talking about?
That's the one. And this is obviously with those loose like filters that he's like had in his pocket. He's just like, 1 minute, Linda, you got a filter.
Flicks the scraps of back of you off. Oh, Bronze Daleks, man. There's a bit, we're jumping around this. I'm fine with being a little bit chill for this finale.
That's fine.
It's great. I think that the discussion's been pretty good, pretty fun.
Thank you for the real-time feedback.
You're welcome. Do you want me to do what could have been better?
Yeah, go on.
Your entire personality, fix it.
Okay.
The joke when he comes in with the gun and he's like, don't shoot, and he's like, oh, like I was ever gonna shoot. He tosses the gun to him and then he starts talking and he's trying to like get a point out and he's like, can I put the gun down?
And he's like, yes.
I love the
like...
we're gonna defy the Doctor, and then the Doctor chucks a gun at him and he's like, oh, am I okay to put this gun down? I'm like, fucking simp.
That's allowed.
Fucking simp. I would simp for Eccleston, I'll be honest.
Oh, too right.
Shout at me, please. Don't.
There's a little haha line in here where Doctor says, someone's been playing a long game.
Yeah.
They get that one in there.
Call back.
Ha ha ha, full circle, baby.
It's a shame that the episode's not good. Not this one, the long game. This one's great. This one is great. The music when Rose dies, by the way, that's when the music is best, I think, across this episode. I think it's a part of the song I'm Coming to Get You. Not in like a scary way. Not in like a spooky I'm coming to get you kind of way. In a, you know, that scene.
Yeah.
Rose, I'm coming to get you. Which, by the way,
so good.
Fucking goosebumps
when
whenever she dies and the music goes up and that end bit, I get goosebumps at both of those.
I have said that bit at the end is the best 9 moment, I think.
When he's like, no, and they're like, you've got nothing, you're unarmed, you've got no plan. And he's like, yeah, and doesn't that scare you to death? And I'm like, oh yeah. And he's like, Rose, and Rose is really formal. He's like, Rose, and she goes, yes, Doctor. Yes, Doctor. And he's like, I'm coming to get you. And she's like, yeah, look, I'm just gonna say, she definitely got fanny flutters doing that. she definitely got a little tremble.
Can
you know?
You blame her though? Like, this guy's like, you know what?
She got a little wibbly wobbly timey wimey in her stuff. You know what I mean?
the ultimate killer machines of the universe, and this big bad man is like, not actually.
Imagine if the Doctor did that thing where you pretend that the signal's breaking up to the Daleks.
He's like,
just doing it. Yeah. Rose, I mean you, and she's like, what, Doctor?
What?
And Jack's there, like laughing in the background.
Turn on your mobile data. I can't hear you.
I'm just from Wi-Fi data. Okay, you're just switching across, are you? Yeah, okay. All right, fair enough. But that's where the episode ends.
Yeah. And my one note about the ending of this episode is the fact that there is a look on Rose's face at the end for this reveal of this Dalek fleet. Yeah. Where we see, oh, holy shit. There is an insane amount of Daleks. And as we've said with the episode Dalek, Rose very accurately, very intimately now knows what one single Dalek can do.
Yeah.
And now there is shitloads of them.
Yeah, almost 500,000.
She has a look on her face that is absolutely, like, it's pure fear. Like, and they cut from it so quick to the end of the episode. And I'm like, stay on that one shot for, like, another second.
Before we do actually close off this, I want to talk about Jack for a moment.
Yes? Okay.
One, when he runs into is it Unit 6 or whatever it's called, where the TARDIS is?
Archive 6.
Archive 6.
Archive 6 is out of bounds.
That, you're doing the thing. The in-breath talk.
Shut up.
Why are you vaping mid-record? Put your fucking elf bar down.
Oh.
What flavour is it?
Cherry.
You dumb bitch. No, for dumb bitches. Cherry's a dumb bitch flavour, okay?
Alright.
No, for Jack, he walks in there, but he walks in there really confidently like he knows the TARDIS is in there, and I was like, do you fucking know something? Do you know something we don't hear, young man?
Yeah, he's very, very excited as well about this reveal that there is a second transmat here.
But he's not excited to see the TARDIS. I thought surely you would walk in and you go, oh my god, are you a sight for sore eyes?
Yeah.
A way out. Like,
when...
And he just walks in, he's like, oh. And he just walks in the TARDIS like there's nothing different.
Like the feeling of, you know, having to go to a place. Like, you gotta walk somewhere and then you get to the car and then it's like, oh, thank God.
The other thing that I have is I assume that it's just because he's a spacey, wacy man, is he's like, I know those ships.
Oh yeah, well the Doctor says something about all of the Daleks, you know, like being dead, being gone, or whatever. And Jack agrees. Let me find the part.
I just know that when the Dalek fleet shows up, his response is like, I know those ships. And I was like, from where?
Yeah, Jack says that's impossible. I know those ships. They were destroyed.
Nope.
Also,
the Doctor's like, well, clearly some of them survived.
Like quick shout out to another great line as well, is when the Daleks, it's like, we have your associate, you will obey or she will be exterminated, and the Doctor just goes, no.
And they're like, what? Huh? You just like, no?
Yeah, and then the Dalek goes, explain yourself. I said, no. What is the meaning of this negative? It means no. But she will be destroyed. But she will be destroyed. She will destroyed, man.
Look, I wasn't going to destroy it, but now I might have to destroy it.
No, I might have to do a little destroyed. No, it's the bad wolf.
That's Bad Wolf.
That's the bad wolf.
At the beginning of the end.
Big bad wolf.
Season 1. Do you have some trivia for us today?
Sorry, I was trying to hold that one in.
Yeah, I can't believe you coughed during that and I had to say it again.
Yeah, I have some trivia for us today.
How much? Because you're a chore to talk to.
Oh my god.
I'm so sorry.
You can just go ahead and find someone else who likes talking about Doctor Who with you. That's fine.
I don't think anything, and just like insight for, we have begun like planning thumbnail images and stuff in advance because now there's a more visual element to them than what we used to have.
Yes.
So I remember you texted me and you were like, oh, for Christmas Invasion we should have this one shot of you know, the new Doctor.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm not saying, but we want 10th Doctor in Nine's clothing still. And then I text you a description of the exact shot.
Oh yeah,
it was like,
very part.
oh, when he like leaves the TARDIS, but this crashes into the street, and he leaves the TARDIS, and he's like just sort of his head's hanging out of it, and you were like, oh, thank God.
Yep.
Like, oh, you're a virgin just like me.
There you go. Find someone else to to know what thumbnails you need.
So if someone tries to talk to you and I'm like, I've got an important text, just know that's probably what it fucking is.
So yeah, there's some former Earth locations.
Okay.
Mentioned
York
in this. The Great Cobalt Pyramid, which was the one that was built on the remains of Torchwood.
Is that just the Shard? Isn't that just the Shard?
The Grand Central Ravine, named after the city of Sheffield.
Fucking these are like fake.
Mm-hmm. And then my personal favourite, which is Paula Ventura, which is the Icelandic city that hosted like Murder Spree 20 or whatever.
Murder Spree 20?
Murder Spree 20, yeah. One of the questions on the weakest link. Paula Ventura. I think that's funny. Ventura. Also the other games, Big Brother, obviously. Yep. Call My Bluff, Countdown, Ground Force, Wipeout, Stars in Their Eyes, What Not to Wear, The Weakest Link, and Bear With Me.
Stars in Their Eyes is just a game where they blind people.
Well,
what fucking Linda good would you be on there?
I'll still fucking sing. No one will want me to, but I will. But yeah, there you go. This is the first appearance of the Deadlock Seal. This ep.
Oh, is that something Archive 6?
Yeah, something being Deadlock Sealed.
That's do you want to know a thing?
Go on.
I hate Deadlock Sealed.
Yeah.
Just like as a plot device, I'm like, all right.
I'm fine with it.
Like, no, like it's okay, but like, you couldn't think of a cleverer thing to, because the only reason something like that exists is to be like the Sonic can't get through it.
Yeah.
We need something even the
I
Sonic.
I'm fine with it. It's like a universal thing that the Sonic just cannot do.
I mean, that and wood.
Yeah, I don't like the wood thing.
I'm not a huge fan of the wood thing.
You know the diary room chair?
Yeah.
That was sold to Channel 4 and they used it in a series of Big Brother.
Oh,
that one.
I was wondering this. Did they just let BBC use their sets?
Well, like, that's the whole thing, right? Is that, like, every year the diary room chair is, like...
New.
Yeah, different and weird and all that kind of stuff. And they did a series of Big Brother where there was, like, a little bedsit house and, you know, people had to go and live in there and it had its own diary room.
Yeah.
And that is the chair.
Okay.
It's that one. The BBC sold it to Channel 4 and then they used it in that series. So there you go. This is also... Yeah, this is the one that I texted you earlier. And I'm like, it's just a fact.
But you didn't text me the actual trivia.
No, I didn't tell you what it was.
Okay, right. I was like, if I just not listened to you, because that sounds like something I would do.
This is a fact.
Okay.
But it's a fact that I don't like. This is the last episode of Doctor Who that does not feature David Tennant until The Beast Below. From this point on, David Tennant is in Doctor Who until The Beast Below.
Until 2010. I'm going to contest this a little bit.
Yeah. Go on.
He only shows up as archive footage.
In the 11th hour.
In the 11th hour. When the Atraxi flicks through.
Yeah, that's true.
And then
does happen.
I think it's a really cool shot though, so I'm gonna.
Oh yeah, it's very good.
Like it's his face, and then Matt Smith steps through the hologram, and he's like, "I'm the Doctor," and I'm like, "Oh, that's really cool to me."
It's good.
But oh my god.
Yeah, like that's just a true thing. Like it shouldn't be like so. Oh my god to me, but it is.
But I feel old now.
Yeah, I don't like this very
somehow.
much.
Can you believe this episode alone is almost 20 years old?
No.
All right.
No.
Let's never mind. You'll be 26 when it's 20 years old.
Yeah. Yeah, I will be. Thank you.
You're 24 in like a few months, so it's not even that far away. So.
I'm 24 in 8 months, dude. So, according to the DVD commentary, you know the chorus when the Daleks.
That's
that one.
It's me. I'm the chorus.
Right. So, like, they use it a bunch.
Oh, it's so good, though.
Right? Do you know what it is?
Is this the first time they've used it?
I
don't think it was in Dalek.
I think this is the first time.
Okay.
It is a chorus, sort of singing, chanting, or whatever. What is happening in Hebrew? I didn't know that until today.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I kind of like that. That's fun. This episode could have introduced Davros.
Is that almost a thing that happened?
Well, apparently RTD wrote like a backup script which featured Davros instead of the MPD.
Is that what you're going to go with? Was that you avoiding a spoiler?
I mean, not really, but kind of, yeah.
Okay.
But
as we just discussed, almost 20 years, and we're like, oh, spoilers.
Yeah. No, in case that was, like an unusable thing, unless the prop was like fucked and stuff. Davros was like the alternative, and I'm glad that wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
Actually, that's good. And finally, a very small, very irrelevant thing. The third Doctor was also sent to the Lunar Penal Colony when they're sentencing everyone, because he was believed to be a draconian spy in Frontier in Space.
That's cool.
Third Doctor adventure.
Before we do our ratings and sign off, I mentioned this was weeks and weeks ago on the podcast now, even months in terms of us recording, because we don't do this often enough. The 10th Doctor and River song audio that I listened to, I didn't know the name of at the time.
Oh, yeah.
I just want to make sure that I've
that I
credit. I just wanted to credit. I don't want to be like, oh, I've just listened to one and that was it. It was called Expiry Dating.
Okay.
It features Doctor number 10, Doctor number 5, and Doctor number 6, I believe.
Cool.
Yes.
Have to give that one a check out. I think I've heard that one. So.
Who was the 6th Doctor?
Colin Baker.
It was the 6th Doctor.
There
just
we go.
making sure. I'm like, I always... by the time we finish this season, by the time we get to our wrap-up, we may have met a Doctor.
I know.
Are you excited? So this coming Sunday, at least for us recording it, which will be the... What is it? This... 5th of February.
5.
There's a little tiny local Comic-Con. Sylvester McCoy and Sophie Aldred are going. Katie, you are the classic Who head among the two of us.
Yeah.
I've not seen much of it, so unfortunately I can't like completely fan out when I see. So I can look at Sylvester McCoy and be like, "Oh, you were that bird shit-headed wizard in The Hobbit. You were Radagast the Brown." But I can't really be like, "Hey, you were the." I've seen him in Power of the Doctor, I guess. I just want to have it recorded. How excited are you for Sunday?
I'm gonna piss. Yeah, I feel sweaty and nervous about it. So yeah.
And that explains all of the scents that are happening. Katie, what would you rate this episode?
4 out of 5.
I also give it a 4 out of 5. The things that drag it down for me is, one, we don't really know when the Daleks started fucking around with Satellite 5. We know they installed the Jagrafest, but we don't know how long before that.
Obviously the implication, because I'm sure they said something in the long game about how there was like a thing with banks.
Yeah.
I think the implication is the Daleks did that.
You're holding back another cough.
No, okay, I just wasn't sure where I was going with that. But I think that's the implication, is that the Daleks.
But even then, it's like how long have the Daleks been back in full force?
They've been playing a long game.
I know, but I just feel like it happens because it happens, and that's sort of a thing for me. Also, I don't like the subplot with those two workers. I don't really care. I understand that's our way as an audience to get some inside information into, the other stuff. Go to floor 500, but yeah, I'm just not in love with it.
Yeah, no, I'm also not in love with it. I also think that like the game show stuff is so jumpy.
Oh, it's very fast paced.
Yeah, and that's like another thing.
Throw it in your eyes. Throw the whole episode in your eyes.
I was gonna say, how excited are you to watch the next episode?
5 out of 5.
Doctor Who.
And I will tell you why. This next time trailer is perfect.
Yeah, this is a very good one. I also give it 5 out of
5. Not just excitement in terms of the episode and the end of the season, but also it's perfect. It gives you all the right questions. There's that hologram of the Doctor saying, I'm dying, or I'm about to die very soon. There's nothing I can do about it. And you're like, what is going on? Then there is an extra enemy that does not get revealed in the next time trailer. Thank you. After the empty child and all that stuff of just spoiling things in next time trailers.
Yep.
I'm glad this one, it gives you the voice.
And if you know, you know.
They survived through me, and then you see the Doctor turn and his reaction. You're like, oh my god, what is it?
Because he does a scared face. Before we go,
yes,
I would like to say that we now have 7 more deaths on the board.
7. So there is what's she called? The wired lady.
The controller.
I was gonna say.
Sorry, not 7. 6. 6 deaths.
Okay, so there's the controller. There is Crosby.
Yep. And then there is Colleen, Broth, Fitch, and Agarax, all members of the Weakest Link.
Yeah. Okay.
All of those quizzy gals and guys and
they've got a good death count going.
Yeah. I put the controller in the sidekick section.
I would say, yeah, she
because
is.
Because she doesn't assist. So I think that she, that gets to have her count as
a sidekick. We are so close to Tennant now, which I think is there's this weird thing where I always convince myself that Tennant did more than like 3 seasons. He did 3 seasons and a few specials and dipped.
Yeah, I think it's probably just because of like the time jump.
Yeah, I also think that Eccleston only doing 1 season. It's a really good season, but Tennants are just consistently good, I think.
Yeah,
we are DW Rewind and everything. Follow it. Please. Oh my god, please follow it.
Please. We don't even ask for anything or anything.
If you made it this far, what did you think of the episode?
Let us know.
What did you think of...
Let's have a little conversation
I almost said, what did you think of Boomtown? So I'm very tired. Very, very tired indeed.
Have a little conversation.
Got a lot to do. We'll be back next week for The Parting of the Ways. Season 1 finale.
Ooh, are we all excited?
Are you talking to me or them?
Yeah,
me?
All of us. Are we all excited collectively?
I'm excited. Are you excited?
I'm excited.
I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to them.
Okay.
We'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.